Hello, I'm Beck. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be drawing a D&D character based on the roll of the dice. Let's bring out the Tower of Destiny! So an Aasimar is basically the opposite of a tiefling, where a tiefling has demonic or devil blood in their system, in their bloodline. The Aasimar has celestial, godly, angelic blood. They usually have some beautiful feature like wings or glowing eyes or rainbow glistening skin. And a paladin, they are basically a knight. They've made a noble pledge or oath, and they get power to go on a quest. Basically, their magic comes from their oath and their faith. When these two rolled together, I really could only think of one thing that this one had to be. Especially when you consider the high con, the high wisdom, the high dex, the decent charisma, intelligence not super necessary, and strength is just average. So this one, 100%, she is gonna be a Valkyrie. Now, Valkyries come from Norse mythology, and their name means chooser of the slain. They served the god Odin and were known to take warriors from the battlefield and bring them to Valhalla. In the context of playing this character in D&D, you would probably say that I'm going to call her Val the Valkyrie. You'd probably say that Val has made an oath to Odin to find the greatest warriors of the land. This is a great hook for your character to want to fight pretty much anyone she can find and take note of the worthy warriors. It doesn't necessarily mean that she needs to slay everyone on the battlefield, but perhaps that's what she also wants to do. Obviously in a game of D&D, you never really know what's going to happen, but it's a very straightforward backstory from Paladin to Valkyrie, so it would be fun to play just a singular Valkyrie. Perhaps she's trying to earn her way into the ranks of the official Valkyries, the ones who choose the slain from the battlefields. You can assume that she was born on the mortal plane, although that's not always the case for an Aasimar, but in this case I think Val was born probably just a normal human who grew wings and eyes began glowing, probably around puberty, very X-Men style. And perhaps Odin spoke to her. Maybe she had a voice from above choosing her to be a paladin, or maybe she discovered the lore on her own and realized what she was. In any case, she decided that she wanted to fight to become an official Valkyrie so that she could join her fellow sisters for a holy cause. She needs to prove herself in order to achieve this level. And that plays into D&D levels as well. She would start off as a level 1 and probably not be an official Valkyrie until she's at level 20, which often doesn't happen. Level 20 is kind of a god level strength, so she may even get to a stage where she decides to fight Odin and take back her paladin level and become something else, maybe multi-class. But right now she's a paladin fighting for her cause to become a Valkyrie. Color-wise, I wanted to stick to fairly traditional imagery of Valkyries, so using the Norse mythology, I went with very Swedish, blonde, Caucasian, Viking kind of coloring. I wanted it to be very warm, lots of reds and yellows and golds. I think the only thing that's not in that color range is the sword, because I considered making it gold but kept it as just a strong steel. Gold's pretty malleable, so you don't generally want a weapon made of gold. I suppose by the same token, you wouldn't necessarily want armor made out of gold. I sort of had in mind that it was gold-plated armor, and she's mostly wearing leather anyway, so leather armor, but I guess you could say you could make the sword gold and say that it's coated in gold, but the sword is supposed to be used a lot, so the gold would wear away pretty quickly, whereas you're not really supposed to like dent and scuff your armor. I mean, that it's supposed to protect you, but if you're a good warrior, you shouldn't be getting hit that much. So I guess that's why you occasionally see gold armor, but you almost never see a gold weapon, a gold sword. At least that's my logic behind it. And I just remembered that I had intended to go back and add detail to this headpiece. I forgot. I didn't do any black lines to draw an outline of what details I was going to add, like gemstones or maybe Odin's face or something. And I completely forgot about it. By the time I was done blocking in the colors, I'd forgotten about adding any extra detail whatsoever. This is what happens when you do it in one evening and don't want to continue it over a couple of days. Yep. I think it came out pretty well anyway. It's fine. Done is always better than perfect, and we're not aiming for spectacular, we're aiming for spectacular, which is where the channel name comes from. I live up to my own standards, and everything I make is absolutely spectacular. And now we do the wings. Wings, 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 wings. I wanted these to be golden wings, but then I kind of changed my mind partway through, so they're sort of a light blondish whitey golds. You'll see. Took a while to draw all the little feathers. Although obviously not as long as if I had gone in and made them very detailed, which, who can be bothered? Who can be bothered with that? You get the idea. They're wings, they got feathers, they're great. Yeah. It becomes kind of hypnotic, a little bit of a meditation practice when you're doing something that requires just the same action over and over again. I think they came out pretty well. I did struggle with the lighting on them towards the end. I wasn't really sure how I wanted the light to hit them and not have them just look dirty or just covered in shadow. I wanted them to be sort of glowing, but then not look weird. We'll see how it turns out. I thought halfway through this wing that I'd done too many feathers on this side compared to the other side, but then when I went back and looked, it's normal. They look about the same. It just felt like I was doing a lot more on this side, or maybe they were a bit smaller or not the right shape. But no, they came out okay. So there's a little journey for you that I experienced during this process. Now with the feather outlines done, I went back in with a creamy kind of color and started to color it in, and very quickly realized this would be a lot easier if I added in a darker background, because it will have a darker background when I am done. I go back in later to do the actual quote-unquote details of the background, as it's kind of a sunset, sun flare situation. But at the moment I just wanted something darker than the wing so I could see if I left any gaps or anything like that. Wow, that part of the music really synced up with the video quite well. You might think that I'm just really good at editing, but let's be honest, that was entirely accidental and I still wanted to point it out, and I love it and I'm proud of it. And if you missed it, go back about 20-30 seconds and watch it again because it looks hella cool. Nice. And here comes the beautiful sunset. Or sunrise if you're that kind of person, but sunsets are just better. They're just more accessible, you know? Really helps to emphasize that you're really screwed kind of position that I was going for. Where she's flying out of the sky and gonna stab you. Yeah. Yeah, you can see I really struggled with the lighting on the wings, having the backlight, but then I didn't want the wings to just look fully in shadow. I ended up doing kind of a compromise. I'm not in love with how the lighting on the wings worked out, but I really like the way the lighting on the rest of her worked out. So she looks cool. Val's awesome. What do you think? What do you think of Val? How do you feel about Valkyries? Do you have any interesting factoids about them? Is there any kind of D&D character you would like me to draw next? I usually use rolling the die to determine the race and class and stats, but I'm open to suggestion. Yeah, let me know. Leave a comment and all that. And hey, if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!